Today is not just about awarding and raising a toast. That's, of course, a big part of why we are here, but also to have some very, very thought-provoking conversations to try and understand what the future narrative looks like. It's very aptly called the Big Brain Roundtable, Uttar Pradesh emerging as India's powerhouse, how global giants and startup ecosystem are driving innovation and industrial growth. Uttar Pradesh, as most of you would agree with me, is rapidly transforming into one of India's most dynamic economic engines, where you have a state, large-scale industrial expansion, and also a very vibrant and fast-growing startup ecosystem. We'll bring together distinguished leaders from the industry, pioneers, and even policy experts to try and understand one big question, which is, how is Uttar Pradesh really positioning itself as a national powerhouse?
As you guys can see, our agenda for this Big Brain Roundtable, Uttar Pradesh emerging as India's powerhouse, how global giants and startup ecosystem are driving innovation and the industrial growth. So my first question would be to you. Mr. Anku is the country head for Mediatek India. As most of us are aware, Anku, you've been in Noida, right?
That's right, yeah.
That's been your India headquarters, and I've been to that facility many times. I see a lot of R&D happening out of Noida, in particular for a global giant like Mediatek. So, thoda sa, just tell the audiences about that, you know, yeah.
तो मैं थोड़ा बताना चाहूँगा हमारी जर्नी कैसे रही है. तो Mediatek itself is a global fabless semiconductor company.
Right.
So we design chipsets for several verticals like smartphones, smart TVs, etc. So it's a high technology company. You know, we do a lot of R&D in different software design, hardware design. And we actually started our journey in Noida in 2004, a long time ago. So we're already here for 21 years. And the reason we came here was, I think, the kind of talent which was available. I think that was the starting point. Before this, I was part of a startup called Pixtel, and that was in New Delhi. And then this company got acquired by Mediatek. And that's that's where we started looking out, which is a good location. And Noida was really fitting the bill for all different criteria we had. So Noida has been a growth engine for us. And also, if you see overall from R&D point of view, I think 9% of the startups are actually coming from UP. And that's an amazing number. And I think already 8 unicorns are out of UP. So you can see the startup ecosystem has really built up and has done a very good job. And I think FarEye, he can talk more about that, as he's one of the startups there. So it's really, really a great place to be. And now the infrastructure has also improved a lot. So I think it's a very great place, yeah, for us.
Right. So my next question, of course, has to be to Mr. Gautam, who's the co-founder and COO for FarEye. So Gautam, you've been around Uttar Pradesh and you've been in the ecosystem of startups as well, from Lucknow to Noida. Tell us about the journey of FarEye and how UP has come across as a particular place for you guys, which has helped you accelerate your growth.
FarEye is multinational company. We do operate in 32 countries. We are present in Noida. We have more than 500 people working in Sector 127. And I'm one of the biggest advocate of Noida and Uttar Pradesh. So, like FarEye is a software as a service logistic tech provider. We do provide technology behind Blue Dart, DHL, Walmart in some of the countries that you have seen. And, like you are going to see your parcel is about to come in so much time and you are like waiting to get your parcels, providing the OTPs to the delivery boy. So we do operate with all the major retail groups in 32 countries, including India. And, like in terms of Noida, definitely like when we thought it was very thoughtful decision to invest in Noida because company is also like funded. We have raised more than 1,200 crores. We have investors like Microsoft, Honeywell, TCVs. TCVs investor of Netflix, Airbnbs, and we invited them to not invest into FarEye but invest into UP and India, right? So we were one of the company. And the entire news of the funding has been broadcasted on the Times Square. So that's what and that was the first company of Noida that entire news got broadcasted over there. And the reason behind to invest in Noida was because of the ecosystem. Because we are a tech company, it's on the cloud. We can integrate from anywhere. So we have seen like where is the right infrastructure for that. That was the first thing. And coming to the startup ecosystems, right? So like 3 years before when I co-founded, Noida startup group, I have seen like bunch of startup even after Paytm, India Mart. There's companies like Moglix, the robotic companies. These companies are going to give like amazing platform background to the Noida, and Noida is the only place where like you can expand your business from Noida to Lucknow on the expressway through Noida Expressway or Taj Expressway or Yamuna Authority Expressways.
Definitely, very insightful information from you. Now, my next question is to Nikhil. Nikhil, you're a content creator who's always on the move, right? And you cover both technology and automotive. You've seen a lot of manufacturing units in Noida and in Uttar Pradesh in particular. Talk us through that, and also, touch a bit about in terms of how Tier 2 and Tier 3 are the main growth drivers when it comes to, new adaptation of technology. Let it be new automobiles, or let it be more buyers coming in from Tier 2, Tier 3 cities. And again, what has your experience been like covering all these manufacturing facilities?
Yeah, so according to the data, more than 70% people trust creators more than traditional advertisements when it comes to tech. And for auto also it's similar. So what happens is when we go to visit a factory, like I've been to a lot of places across the world, but when I come back home and go to a factory in Noida and see how it's manufactured and all, and we see that it's the same standard globally, makes us proud. And like on the panel, it's mentioned that, we have that ecosystem of devices, everything available in Noida, UP. So that's where you see that all these car manufacturers, smartphone companies, tech manufacturers, even Mediatek here, has their base in UP. And the reason is that ecosystem is there. And as a creator, when we go there, we create content, show it to people, and they believe it because it's like we have this community of people who trust us. So it's very important for us to showcase how it's being made, what are the things that are going into it, and all of these things really matter because you can't really make somebody purchase things just by an ad. People also know and differentiate between advertisement and what's real content. So that's how I feel that it's very important for us to, as creators, go out there. And why UP? I think UP has a population of around 30 crore, which is like a good test bed. Like it's more than most of the countries in the world. So when you go there, you create content, you reach out to their audiences. It's kind of, if it works in UP, it works globally. It works at least in India. So it's a Bharat story now, because if you can test your product in UP and make it work, it should work across the country.
Moving back to you, Anku, there's a lot of chatter about IoT. There's a lot of talk about cars getting smart. The whole SoC bit inside a car. I mean, it's more tech than car also. A lot of people would say that. IoT for you guys, and not just smartphones, beyond smartphones. You want to touch a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, so for IoT is any device which can be smart, right? And that needs a lot of semiconductor inside that. So the basic idea is that if you have a device, how do you add intelligence to that device? It could be connectivity, it could be AI, or it could be vision, right? So all these components are things which are actually our SoCs are doing a phenomenal work in that. So IoT is a big area for us in terms of our revenue. Because there are so many different devices coming out, like smart meters or speakers and so on. And all these things are relying on smartness from the SoC. So IoT is big one for that, apart from smartphones and smart TVs and all those things. And even automotive, I think you mentioned about cars. You're totally right that cars are actually, actually a moving computer now. And there's so much intelligence required for it is, for its ADAS or for its security and telematics. And all those things need chipset. It's really powered by chipset. And that's where Mediatek thinks it's a very big growth engine for us, going forward, as we see more and more cars being, powered by chipsets itself. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Very well explained. काफी विस्तार में आपने अच्छे से समझाया. Gautam, my next question is to you. Leading a software company, it's not just about getting the right talent. It is also, how logistics, supply chain, automation, all of these things really come into picture for you guys as well, right? So, tell us a little bit about in terms of how being in Uttar Pradesh, being in UP, helps you with all of this. Is it very easy in terms of, is there a lot of support from the government for startups? Is it enabling, or you have something more to add to that?
Yeah, no, like this is very amazing thing, as अगर आपको भारत का विकास देखना है तो गांव-गांव में विकास देखना पड़ेगा. And like from the logistic perspective, if you'll see like market like China, when a brand like a Shein, Temu sells anything on their platform, they will ship within 48 hours or 78 hours in any location of the Americas. And then like it will get delivered in America. So like if you will have to empower 60 million MSMEs that is lying in India, right? And then like if you will talk about UP, that covers close to 9-10% of the Indian GDP. And we are talking about $1 trillion GDP, then definitely it's a massive opportunity in the field of logistics. And like when our Honorable Prime Minister launched like a national logistic policy during COVID time, and we have seen like how from 16% to single digit we came, because of the infrastructure, rail network, road network, air network. So there is massive potential. Still, India is suffering big way. Even like from one location of, Indian state to another location, it would be very tough to connect within 24 hours. And when you will talk about the rural areas, right, then again, it would be tough. So, through the logistic, and because Open Network Digital Commerce की platform है, आप ना consortium बना दो कि they can apply for import-export code. They can also sell someone sitting in, part of the Atlanta, part of the New York, part of London. And, India Post is having better network. And with the way like collaboration happened in the GST with the state and center, we can also have some logistic collaboration with the state and center. And through technology, as sir has told clearly, we can enable, and through the softwares, we can enable all the community development center, post offices, community welfare programs or multiple programs, and connect and supply to the global market as well. So definitely logistic, I always say on the global platform is the backbone, is the blood vessel of any of the development. And the best part, India is talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat, Make in India program, but we are also investing huge on logistics. We'll have to enable rural areas, and lot of SMEs, MSMEs will come. I totally support Heera sir to connect through the technology, even through the logistic, to sell the product to the global market.
And I was doing some research when we were to begin this, and I got to know that as Secretary for National Integration, you had led something called as Green Election, जिसमें आपने टेक्नोलॉजी का बहुत सारा यूज़ किया था. It was a one of a kind scenario. तो प्लीज़ थोड़ा सा ऑडियंसेस को बताइए इसके बारे में. What was this Green Election all about?
ग्रीन इलेक्शन क्या है, मैं 1 मिनट में ब्रीफ कर दूं कि जब हम चुनाव करते हैं तो 1 महीने का ये चुनाव होता है, और ये चुनाव कराता कौन है? हम ही लोग, हमारी मशीनरी, हम लोगों के नेतृत्व में IAS अफसर जो DM वगैरह होते हैं. तो 1 महीने के अंदर बहुत सारे मीटिंग करते हैं, ट्रेनिंग करते हैं, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी अपनी रैली निकालती है, तो बहुत सारे ग्रीन गैसेज पैदा होते हैं. तो इलेक्शन तो हुआ, डेमोक्रेसी मजबूत हुई, लेकिन ग्रीन गैस भी पैदा किया. इससे हम नेचर को बहुत नुकसान पहुंचाते हैं. तो इलेक्शन कमीशन की एक गाइडलाइन है कि यह नुकसान ना हो. तो इसमें हम क्या करते हैं, वो गाइडलाइन क्या कहती है कि मिनिमम यूज ऑफ प्लास्टिक का यूज को मिनिमम करिए, बायोडिग्रेडेबल मटेरियल यूज करिए प्लास्टिक की जगह. एक तो ये उसका फंडा है. दूसरा, हमने इसमें एक अपना इनोवेशन किया कि आप पेड़ लगा दो. तो हमने वन विभाग से बात करके वोटिंग के दिन हर बूथ पे जो फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर हैं उनको हम पौधा दिलवा देते हैं. फॉरेस्ट विभाग यही काम करता है. अभी हमने जो बिहार में इलेक्शन कराया, 9000 पौधे 1 दिन में बंटवा दिया. तो जो ग्रीन गैस पैदा होगा उन पौधों से वो उसको कंज्यूम करेगा, वो ऑक्सीजन देगा. तो in short, this is the story.
Thank you guys. I think this has been a very insightful panel.